I brought you in today to have a bit of a chat about something that's really important to indie artists, and that's, in this world of so much content, it's overload. How can an artist break through the noise with great content? Any advice that you could give the indies?
Yeah, I think it's rather than being about a certain type of platform or a certain type of content. It's essentially about finding things that emotionally resonate with your audience. And everyone jokes about cat videos always working if you're at a loose end on Facebook. And it is a joke, but at the same time, the reason that a cat video resonates is because it tugs at the heartstrings, and everyone loves watching a cat. I personally don't love watching a cat, but the stats suggest that I'm an outlier. And I think that when you're talking about content for your band, it's about that as well, and it's about finding what resonates with your audience. For some people, that might be what you ate for lunch. It might be backstage at a show, or it just might be about your inner feelings when you were writing a song. Obviously, if you're if you're a pop artist doing something that's getting played on Nova and in the breakfast show, the inner demons that you're going through the writing process is probably not going to be as interesting to that audience as a video of you shopping at James Street. So it's about knowing your audience and knowing what's going to be the thing that resonates and gets them excited.
Yeah, I think that's super important, actually knowing your fan base and having that connection. I think that's something that's crucial now for an artist's career. On that note, what would you say are some tips for actually nurturing your fan base and really connecting with them?
I think it's about looking at the statistics, and that's one of the great things that we've got now that maybe didn't have 20 years ago is the ability that when we put out content, we see how many people are responding to it. We can see out of how many people saw it, how many people liked it, how many people shared it, all of those sort of statistics that if you look over a long period of time, you're going to see patterns developing. And for some people, and a lot of artists, video content is really important. It's a much more visual medium these days, and people love it. But then the flip side, some of the best pieces of content that I've seen is when an artist writes a heartfelt, really long piece that they post to Facebook that really means something. And technically, when you look at what should or shouldn't work on Facebook, a whole bunch of text shouldn't work. But if what's being written about is something that resonates with the people, then that can obviously be, often be something that gets far more engagement than something that's technically more SEO suitable.
Yeah, that's very true. I think it really is about with social media kind of giving us an insight into our private lives to a degree. It really is about that personal kind of content, isn't it? If they feel like they know you.
Yeah, or at least a persona or something that they can buy into. And once again, for a lot of artists, for example, Cub Sport that we work with, they're very open on Facebook. They talk about what they're going through. They talk about feelings. They talk about what they're doing. But then you flip and look at another artist, someone like Prince, who for him it's the mystique and the mysteriousness of what he's doing. It's not about his was doing. It wasn't about his private life. It was about that public face that he was putting up, and that was, for his fans, that was just as intriguing as if we found out what he ate for breakfast. Or you don't want to know what Prince ate for breakfast. That's not what his persona is about. So. Yeah.
And he's engineered it that way, I guess, and staying true to that. The persona that's being created is important.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's think of how we could sum all that up today. I think it's really about nurturing the fan base, isn't it, and cut through the noise.
Absolutely, I think it's about being true to yourself and making sure that the image of yourself that you're projecting, whether it's through your music or whether it's through social media or whatever media it is that you're doing, is an authentic version of yourself and one that really draws people in and makes them want to know more and hear more.
Absolutely. That's amazing. If you were going to create a famous musician version of yourself, whose instrumental prowess would you utilise?
Instrumental prowess?
Yeah.
Given that we were just talking about Prince, I think I would probably bring Prince's guitar shredding skills to the table, not just because of the guitar, but because he can wipe the floor with anybody on the guitar and then turn around with the dance moves as well. And if there was anything that I wish that I could do, it would be wiping the floor with dance moves.
He was pretty amazing human being, wasn't he? And I'd love to see you do that one day, just quietly.
Well, you got any couple of beers and let's go.
Beer. Oh, thank you so much for being here, Stephen. I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks very much.